Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Veg Networking Canada, where vegan plant-based companies connect and collaborate. We honor, acknowledge, and respect that we are located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of many Indigenous peoples of Canada. Today, we're thrilled we have a special guest with us, previously a chief financial officer, now on a mission to transform the meat replacement game, on a path to be the change she wanted to see in grocery stores, proudly captaining a women-owned and operated company. Veg Networking Canada is pleased to introduce the founder and CEO of Yumasoy Foods. Welcome, Gina Arsens.
Thank you very much. I'm super excited to be here. And thank you, Justin and Sandra, for doing everything that you do.
Gina, thank you so much. And everybody else who's listening with us live today and also going to be listening on their own time. Can we start today by hearing what led you to create a plant-based company?
Yeah, for sure. I tell the story quite often, but it did start with a Netflix show called What the Health. And my husband and I were watching it. And we've been kind of different types of eaters most of our, time together. And he declared he was going to be vegan overnight. He hasn't been able to sustain it, but it was such an impactful show that it really put us on the path to eat more and more plant-based. My youngest daughter is vegetarian. My oldest daughter is a flexitarian, and my husband goes back and forth. But in that process, I really found it difficult to find something that I could make that was easy for our whole family that they would all enjoy. And I was craving that type of simplicity and familiarity of cooking plant-based meats, and I just didn't find it. So I set out to find a product that was clean, that was really easy to cook, and that I felt satisfied and delicious, and I felt like I really had treated myself. And so I tested it on my kids. They loved it. And then I tested it on some friends and they loved it. And so there I went. And I met people like Sandra that also gave me positive feedback at the beginning. So I tested it out for a little bit and got enough positive feedback that I thought I think I might have something here. So that's the start. I did a couple bit of foray into this opportunity while I still had a job, and then it got bigger, and so I decided to go full time. Took the
Very
big
cool.
leap, like everybody says. So
Sorry, I cut you off a little bit there. What was that last part?
that's okay. I said I took that proverbial leap off the deep end, and yeah, been
Amazing.
swimming madly ever since.
Those who are in the CPG space are probably chuckling to themselves of that swimming madly ever since because they get it. And some of those are listening with us live right now. Um, well, for those of you who don't know anything about Yamasoy, I'll say if you want an amazing chicken salad sandwich or an amazing chicken stir fry or whatever, you definitely get your hands on the product and give it a shot because, like Gina said, it is simple, delicious, nutritious. Put it in the pan, cook with it, super easy. It's already pre-seasoned, all that, but she'll talk to us more about the product. So Gina, in the intro, we talked about you being a chief financial officer. You talked about how you were still probably doing that while you were kind of dipping your toes in the proverbial entrepreneurial water here. Is this your entrepreneurial origin start, or was there something beforehand, or how did that go for you?
Yeah, I think I've had little sprinkles in my whole life and career. My parents were entrepreneurs. They came to Canada with nothing, and they built a life for them and their kids, and for me. So that was kind of my little start. I've had the privilege of witnessing companies grow from pretty much nothing to pretty large organizations. And But I've always played it safe. I mean, I've had some pretty challenging career opportunities, but that regular paycheck is something that I got quite accustomed to. So this is, despite the little sprinkles of inspiration throughout my life and at the beginning of my life, this is definitely it. This is the start.
Very cool, very cool. So in terms of the start, but moreover, the future, next question for you is where is Yamasoy Foods going in the future?
Yeah, I believe we're going to be continuing to grow. We're hoping to go into the US and introduce our product in those markets. We are growing and expanding in our food service business, and hope to see it in a lot more restaurants and places. And I have so many flavors that I want to launch and kind of similar type products. But I'm just waiting for the market to give me the nudge to push harder and the pace. So um, I'm itching to do a bit more, but I'm waiting for the market, yeah, to tell me otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So why don't you take this opportunity to share a little bit more about the SKUs or the flavors of the products that are currently out right now, and a little bit more about the product to get people's appetite going?
Yeah, so we make a plant-based chicken style strip. I just have to preface, I called it chicken style just because I wanted them, consumers to understand kind of how to use it. But I wasn't really looking for a meat replacement. I didn't necessarily, think that everybody wants to just always have meat, right? I just wanted a really good, clean, plant-based protein. But I did describe them as chicken style, but they could easily be pork style or they could be beef style. But it's just a way to kind of get a consumer to understand the market. But they're pre-marinated and pre-cooked, and they're ready in 5 minutes. The four flavors that we have are original. It's a very lightly seasoned product. You can add your own sauces to it and really kind of spice it up the way that you would want to. We have a Mediterranean herb flavor, a nod to my roots, a teriyaki flavor, a nod to my daughter's culinary desires. And then I was really looking for kind of an easy, light takeout type. And I often had Thai curries, and I just didn't find that in a vegan space. So I did a Thai yellow curry as well. And I'm, really excited that the consumers and people also really resonate with those flavors as well. But there's so many more.
Well, I haven't had the last one that you mentioned, so I'll keep an eye out for that. Now, what exactly makes the product so simple? I mean, the fact that you said it's pre-marinated, it's ready in 5 minutes, that's amazing. Parents, busy professionals. But in terms of the
Exactly.
actual product itself, like what is it? Why is it so simple and nutritious?
Well, it has really simple and clean ingredients, and so everything on our package and our label, and the ingredients you'll recognize. You'll probably have all of them in your kitchen. It's our way of cooking that creates a pleasing taste and a texture that really resonates with people. But we try to keep the ingredients super clean. For instance, we use olive oil, we use coconut sugar instead of highly refined sugar, just stuff that is just a lot cleaner and a lot better for you. So we want to up the convenience, but dial down the processing. And our product's also made with the soybean, and we use a whole non-GMO soybean. And why that's important is because it's not made with chemicals, and it has all essential amino acids. It has lots of nutrients. It has good fats in it. It's just a really super bean. And when you keep it the way nature intended it to be, the health aspect of consuming it increases as well. So I wanted it to be healthy, but also delicious and because no one has time, convenient.
Yeah, we're happy you shared that because it's funny, I guess, sad maybe, when you hear people talk about, oh, if Franken food, vegan plant-based Franken food, and all of this ultra processed yada yadas. And I can appreciate how somebody might think that when they see something that is so good and readily prepared so quickly. But yeah, it can be those, but it can also be nutritious at the same time. So awesome. What in the, I guess, meat replacement space, plant-based CPG space, what are some transformations or trends that you've spotted?
Yeah, I think people and companies are moving more and more to really much cleaner ingredients and putting the plant back in plant-based. If you will indulge me that overgeneralization, but really make the ingredients cleaner and cleaner. And I think it's just an overall trend and in all types of eating to make the ingredients cleaner. But I've read a lot about how this whole space is moving, less fillers, less natural substitutes, less preservatives, stuff that our body kind of needs and craves without the extra stuff that it can't really, it just doesn't do as well trying to digest.
Well, I'm not a marketing whiz, but I don't know if you've used that term before, putting the plant back in plant-based, but that
It
resonated with
it
me.
resonates, yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I might actually start using that.
yeah. And this next one, we've had folks answer from their organizational lens, from them personally. We've had people answer it from something that they've done in the past, maybe that they're looking to do in the future, that they're currently doing. So long-winded way of saying no right or wrong answers. But the next question is, as it's becoming increasingly more popular to consumers, not only the face behind companies, but what are they doing in terms of giving back and charity? So the question is, what does giving back and charity mean to you
Mhm.
and mean to Yumasoy?
Yeah, so I've spent a lot of time in my career and life giving back to something that's very important to me is women, and in all respects. Volunteered with the YWCA board. I'm on a volunteer of a girls' school right now, at the board of their school. I champion women's network at another board that I'm involved in. I've also, donated om-noms to women's shelters. And so in any way, personally, directly through organizations, if I can, give a lifting hand to other women, that's kind of where my passion is. I think there's a lot of people that suffer unnecessarily, either through poor circumstances or their mindset that sometimes just a little lift goes a long way, and sometimes it's more than a little lift, but that's where I'm really passionate, I think. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, for the sake of the video for people listening, and then also like in the show notes, or if people are going to be sharing this on LinkedIn or other platforms, no pressure, but did you want to mention the school that you're on the board of and the women's network that you're on the board of too?
Yeah, so I'm on the board of Prospera Credit Union, and they do really great things both for their communities and for women, and for lots of different, I guess, underrepresented groups. And also York House School is the girls' school that I'm on the board of.
Very cool. Awesome. So earlier you mentioned you and your husband watched What the Health, um, which is amazing. Everybody should watch it if they haven't. And next question is, what are some books, podcasts, apps, or other
Mhm.
resources that you'd recommend to owners and entrepreneurs? So it might be books, podcasts, apps, resources from you might put on your CFO hat, recommend those. It might be something
Mhm.
else to do with business or mindset. And it might or may not be something to do with the plant-based vegan space, but open-ended question about what are some resources that you'd recommend to business owners and entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I think this journey through Yamasoy is been one of the biggest challenges that I've ever undertaken, and I've been in many different industries. And so, I early on, I remember, at the very beginning, I came home and I said, "Oh, geez, I'm only in 10 stores," and my daughter said, "But Mom, you're in 10 stores." And it struck me so significantly. I think she was in grade 9 at that time. Maybe she's in grade 10. And I just realized that the glass is half full just as much as it is half empty. And I've taken that and I've really kind of challenged myself to really look at this journey, this entrepreneurial journey through that lens. We're in a lot more stores now. We have a lot more things, but the challenges are quite significant and kind of ever changing, to be honest. But it is a really satisfying experience. So the stuff that really has impacted me is books around that kind of mindset of making sure that you look at the world through your glass half full lens versus the glass half empty, because you need to take a bit of a leap of faith. You need to kind of be the champion in this journey. And so one of my all-time favorite books is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And it is, if anyone hasn't read it, they just need to read it. It doesn't matter what stage of life you're in or anything. It's just a lovely book. And it really does show you that, you don't really know the journey that you're on, but if you just have some faith in that journey, that it'll take you down some twists and turns, and everything will be okay, I guess. It's a lovely book. The Obstacle is the Way, and that is another book that is by Ryan Holiday, and it's really about turning trials into triumph, that mindset. Um, there's a couple more. The one that comes to, I'm forgetting another one, but The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, and it's really about coaching in a growth mindset, and yeah, I think everybody would benefit from those three books.
Well, you're speaking my language. Maybe other people listening, whenever I hear it's my favorite book, The Alchemist, and
Oh,
whenever I hear
yeah.
somebody talk about it, immediately I'm like, I'm in the crystal shop.
Mm,
I like it.
that's
Um,
awesome.
so okay, so thank you for those recommendations. That's so great. Now in terms of inspiration, um, people have answered this one saying that they themselves, the
Mm,
trials and that they face themselves and them continuing to go is their source of inspiration. Other individuals, other organizations, nature, lots of different answers. It's very clear through the conversation so far that your parents,
mm,
your kids,
mm,
and your husband and
mm,
women in general are
mm,
sources of inspiration for you. So feel free to go
mm.
deeper on those and or let us know what does inspiration mean to you and how does when I say that, what comes up?
Yeah, I think there's so many people that inspire me. Like Justin and Sandra, you inspire me. Like, look at what you've created out of nothing, out of your own kind of will and interest, and so I'm inspired by that. Like that was just created out of nothing. But mostly I'm inspired by yeah, I mean, my kids inspire me. I find like they're wiser beyond their ages, and they look at life in such a different lens. But when I see someone that has succeeded in business and they've done it in a way that led with kindness and thoughtfulness and creativity, I mean, they're my hero. I just think there's enough, kind of greed and difficult things that go on in business. So when someone does this with a win-win mindset and is successful because of it, they're usually my hero. So I have many. Yeah.
Amazing.
Mhm.
So sometimes we have for those who are with us live in the chat, they'll pop in a question and one came through here. So I'll read it. I'll preface it by saying I believe, maybe I'm wrong, that I heard you mentioned food service and
Mhm.
that being growing in your business. So with that in mind, the question is, has there been any interest in your products from the food service sector, i.e. restaurants? And if not, is this an area you would like to explore?
Yeah, there has been interest. It's early days, but definitely interest. You can find Omnoms on Whistler Mountain, and the chefs there have been really innovative, and they've created some really great product up on the hill. And so, good day skiing, and you can reward yourself at lunch with a good. There's a ramen bowl station, and you can pick omnoms or you can pick a traditional meat product as your protein. So it's super exciting. We have a couple other restaurants that have picked it up and are running with it, and it's pretty exciting, but still very early days.
Well, there's another place that if you haven't touched down with Ed and Natasha from Bread
Mm,
in Creekside in Whistler.
mm.
So fully vegan plant-based bakery. And yes, of course, they do amazing cinnamon buns, but they also do savory pastries and things, which I'm just thinking of the visuals that I see when they create their products and how well yours would fit. So, anyways,
I
take
think
that for
that's a
what it is.
great idea. Yeah, you have lots of entrepreneurial ideas. I like it.
Perfect fit, perfect fit. And just
Mhm.
when you said Whistler, that makes sense. Okay, so awesome. Thank you for letting us know. And all right, so the last one for you here, Gina, is do you have any advice, lessons, tips for business owners and entrepreneurs? Again, it might be mindset related, it might be finance related. I'm sure
Mm.
as a previous CFO, there's probably lots of entrepreneurs who would like to hear advice in that lens, but no pressure.
Yeah, so I will go down on that financial side. I think it's a the administration and the finance recording of this business is one of the highest I've actually come across. So I highly recommend anyone really paying attention to details and being keeping track of. Um, a cash heavy need. You're always putting cash out before you get any back, and so understanding that cash flow model and that cash flow needs is absolutely critical. And it is a really heavy demand, but it is worth it because when you get your details, you can really rest a lot easier at night. You have a lot more visibility. You have, I think a whole bunch of ease of business. And yeah, so it's a lot of work, but it's really well worth it. And then the other one is that, remind yourself that the glass is half empty as much as it is the glass is half full as much as it is half empty.
Amazing. Can I push a little bit more maybe on the do you have any insight in as a former CFO into government grants or programs like SRED or anything like that that people are doing in the space that they might not really be thinking of right now that they might be able to kind of leverage and extend the runway, so to speak?
Yeah, no, I think that's really great. There are a lot of programs available for entrepreneurs and in this space, and they regularly come out. So I always look out for them come April 1st. Early April is when they all get launched. And then October, when the money doesn't look like it's going to be sent, there's another little sputter of opportunities. So be very mindful and set aside some time to look out for those grant opportunities. IRAP is a very generous program, and I think as we are all creating new product and new space, and I didn't really clue in until the second year, and this is some of my profession. So and when you start, I think look right away at IRAP. There's a lot of people that do a really great job at helping you out, and their fees are not um, are pretty reasonable relative to the value that they bring. And it's not a matching. The IRAP is a shred is one of the best ones because there's no matching. It's a hundred, it's a full grant. It's a tax credit actually. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome, Gina. So, is there anything in the conversation today that came up that you want to go back to, or maybe anything that we missed, or any announcements that you might have?
Not that I can think of right now. I'm very grateful to be here. I'm very grateful to be talking to you, and I think this is just a wonderful opportunity. It's great to meet you, Meg, and see you, Vanessa. And yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it a ton.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. So everybody listening, you can find out more. Don't look, don't go if you're hungry unless you're willing to immediately order or find out where you can buy the product and go and get it. But you can find out more online, yumasoy.com, yumasoy.com, yumasoy.com. Instagram is a little bit different. It's the tag of the product that Yumasoy makes, the chicken style. It's called Omnoms. So you can find out that on Instagram, give them a follow, see all the delicious products that people have also consumers have tagged them in and all that good stuff at Omnoms Yum, OMNOMSYUM at Omnom Yums. All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been another episode of Veg Networking Canada. We got to have a conversation with the founder and CEO of Yumasoy Foods, Gina Arsens. Thank you so much for your time. Everybody who is with us now or listening on your own time, thank you for your time as well. And we'll catch you soon on another episode. Take care. Bye for now.